Okay, get out your flashback forms, please. Is anybody taking the ACT tomorrow? No? I know there is one tomorrow close by. I don't know. I don't know. Just ignore it, Jordan. It'll be okay. Okay? Okay, so take a minute to do this. I'll take attendance and then I can start taking questions. Okay? Let's talk really quickly about what we did yesterday before we talk about what we're going to be doing today. First, to go through the important announcement that I made about scholarships. I told you guys that I was going to put that scholarship document on the website with all those crazy highlights and due dates and everything, and I couldn't figure out how to do it. My web page doesn't like Excel, and I was having trouble changing it into a PDF. So with that said, if you did jot down any due dates or you want more information about any of those scholarships, you know you need to see Miss Guthrie. She's the one who gave me the list in the first place. So just check with her if you want any of those. Also made some announcements about extra credit. We are running short on time. It is nearing the end of the trimester. So if you want to do extra credit, you have the cultural event assignment that you could do or the volunteer experience assignment you could do. So use this opportunity to do that while you still have time. Those are not things that you can do overnight, okay? Sometimes people who haven't had my class before don't remember that or realize that. I did take up Hamlet books yesterday. If you still have your Hamlet book, I do want it, but please do not hand it to me at a random time, because what's gonna happen when you give me that Hamlet book?
You're gonna lose it.
I'm gonna forget or like drop it or lose it or something. So I do want them, but please make sure when you give it to me that you guys check it, like watch me check it off my list, okay? Can you guys not touch each other, please? Thanks. So just make sure that that's like something that I get to do. I have to check it off my list. And if you just hand it to me while I'm teaching someone else, I'm probably gonna forget. And I don't want you to get charged for a book that you turned in, okay? Lastly, we spent a little more time yesterday talking about bias, persuasion, and propaganda. And you did have a homework assignment, which I'm gonna collect at the end of class, okay? If you weren't here, I should have given you a copy of the homework assignment, and I think you have until Tuesday to get it in, okay? Questions about yesterday? No? You good?
Were you off on Monday or something?
No, I just try to give people an extra day if they were absent. Okay, so let's move on to what we're gonna do today. Okay. All right. Whoa, that's huge and scary. I don't like that. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing that we do every Friday. You guys are gonna do a prove it, and you guys can read up here exactly what your objective is gonna be. Could somebody read this aloud for me in blue? Will I pass out your prove it? Go for it, Maria.
I can collaborate to write a well-organized essay.
Okay, so a couple things that we have to do there before we even look at the text. What's one thing that you know you're going to have to do today before you leave?
Write an essay.
Okay, you're going to have to write an essay. What else? Like, what's going to be in it? What's going to be in your thesis statement? Huh? I don't know about bias.
Something about a birthday.
We're taking a break from bias today. What are the two things that you're going to have to identify?
Literary devices.
Good. So you're going to identify some literary devices, probably like 2, maybe 3. It definitely says more than 1. Okay. What else are you going to identify? Besides just literary devices, what else? The purpose. Good, the author's purpose. So we're going to be reading the short story Birthday Party, and we're going to be identifying the author's purpose and multiple literary devices that the author uses to achieve that purpose. So before we read the story, can somebody read our task up at the top here where it says writing prompt? It's super short, very similar to what Maria just read. Somebody besides Maria or Norris, read the writing prompt. Go for it. Hannah.
You write a well-organized essay in which you show how the author uses literary devices to achieve her purpose.
Sound familiar? That's what we just read, right?
That sounds like the same one we did last week.
Very similar to the one we did last week. The difference between this one and the one we did last week is that, honestly, guys, this text is harder. And last week I gave you a laundry list. Do you guys remember the things that you were supposed to be looking for last week? The tone, the thing that meant sentence structure and punctuation, syntax, and diction. Good. I didn't give you them this time, did I? It's a little harder. So you don't have to use those 3 things, but you could. Okay? You could use different things, and I want you to kind of look for what you think you want to use as you read this passage. So what I'd like for you to do is just take 5 minutes to read the passage, and then we'll talk about what it's going to look like when you've done all this stuff. Okay? So first, read the short story. It's very short. Called Birthday Party. As you read it, feel free to annotate. Mark it up. Okay? Highlight things that you find particularly interesting. Kevin, do you need a drink? You got water. Okay. Why don't you step out for a minute? I think most of you have finished your first read of the passage. What I'd like to do now, and I know you can't read this very well, but I want to ask you what you think about the prompt in the story. How are you going to know when you've done what this prompt is asking you to do? Huh? When I tell you. Okay. Yeah, I usually do come around and tell you. Well, what do you have that tells you, like before I come and talk to you, what do you have that tells you what it's supposed to look like when you're finished? The rubric, good. Jordan, what does the rubric say you have to have to get an A?
Excellent thesis. Excellent illustration support. Excellent organization. Sound something effects, and then imagination. Sees and making connection insight.
Okay. So I heard excellent thesis first. So what did we say was going to be in the thesis? And I'm putting this here on the board, but I think probably you should mark it down on the rubric side of your paper somewhere. So what are the parts of the thesis? We already said within the thesis you're going to identify 2 different things. What did we say you're going to identify? And it's in the writing prompt. Okay, literary devices. So you're going to name some literary devices. At least what? 2, okay? Maybe 3 if you're feeling like real spiffy, okay? What else are we going to identify? The purpose of the author. Good. Okay, so your thesis is going to have that stuff. That's really important. And then beyond that, I'm going to have body paragraphs, right? Probably a body paragraph for each literary device that I mention. What else am I going to have to provide based on what it takes to get an A? After excellent thesis, the other big important thing that I have to have. Excellent illustrations. So illustrations are just what? What's an illustration? Am I going to draw a picture on my essay? You guys never do that. Okay, what do I mean by illustrations? Are you alive? Yeah, examples, specific examples. So for each literary device, how many examples do you guys think it would take to get an A, to do a really good job to show how those literary devices connect to the author's purpose? Okay, 2 to 3, probably fair, okay? Depending on the strength of them and how well you explain them and how much time you have, right? Because this is like a timed day, timed activity. Okay, with that said then, we're going to move on. And I'm going to ask you before you get in your group, you've already annotated the passage, to look back at the task and try this by yourself. I want you to, on your paper, underneath, I'm going to steal Kevin's, I hope he's okay. Underneath the birthday party story, I want you guys to go ahead and write down what you think the author's purpose is without talking to anybody, without hearing anybody else's opinion. Just write down what you think the author's purpose is. And it is so much better for you to be wrong than to have nothing. Some of you guys are perfectionists and you're afraid to write anything down because you're afraid it's wrong. Just write something about the author's purpose, what you think it is. And we can change it later. And once you've done that, I want you guys to jot down, this is a little more difficult, 3 different literary devices that are in that short story. You okay, Kevin? Okay, good. Did you get to read the story?
Yeah.
Okay. This is what we're doing.
A couple of birthdays.
Yeah, this is what we're doing right now. So everybody's paper should have a purpose and then 3 different literary devices. Okay? And that's going to be more challenging for some of you than others. Some of you might have some stuff on there that's wrong, but I would really like to see everybody with something. Something. And if you don't have anything, you'll have a chance to tell me in a minute. What's up?
Oh, what is it called when you write a sentence that makes you put a picture in it?
Imagery.
Thank you.
Good job. Okay, now that you've had the opportunity to write down the purpose and to write down the 3 literary devices, here's what I want you to do. On the upper right-hand corner of your paper, this is how you're going to tell me how you feel about what you've written, okay? If you are this person right here, you say, I've got it, just let me write. Leave me alone, Henson, I know what I'm doing. We do this every week. I'm about to get an A. Kevin Pennington would be saying he's going straight to Hundytown. If you feel like that's you, you've got it, I want you to put a star at the upper right-hand corner of your paper, okay? I feel really good about this. I feel really confident about what I wrote, okay? If you feel pretty good, but you think you might need a little help, feel pretty good, but I think I might need a little help, put a circle at the upper right-hand corner of your paper so that I can see as I'm walking around that you probably need a little bit of help, okay? Can you make it so I can't hear that, please? If you're this person here and you're saying, what's a literary device? And possibly, where am I right now? What's happening? You have no idea. Put a square at the upper right-hand corner of your paper. That's an SOS. It means, I definitely need you to help me, Henson. I don't know what's going on.
Can you have a combination of the 3?
You can have a combination of the 3, but that just sort of confuses me. If you
Like star and square.
You can, that's fine. If you want to, you can do whatever you want. I see a lot of different shapes when I do this. So that will help me know kind of where you guys are. Does everybody have that? Okay. All right, in a minute, we're going to group up. Before we do that, I'm going to answer all these questions that you guys normally throw at me. First off, I want the groups to be a minimum of 2 and a maximum of 3. You cannot work in a group of 4, and I would love it, those of you who want to work by yourself, if you would just give collaboration a shot, okay? Because that dialogue, I think, is really important. How many essays am I going to collect? 1. Only 1. You do not both need to write 1, okay? 1 from each group. You guys need to make sure that you use the front side of the room, especially today, okay? Is it okay if I sneak a group back there behind you? Okay. So yeah, you guys can scoot out that way and just make sure that I can move around and walk around to get to you all. So you also need to be facing each other in your groups. That way I know that if somebody who's got a square is paired up with somebody who's got a star, they might not be the people I need to go to first if I've got two people who have squares on the top of their paper. So just make sure you're sitting with your group and you're separated from other groups so that I know what I need to do for you. You should only be talking to each other. You should only be talking about the birthday party essay. When you think you're finished, you think you've got it, you think you did this stuff that we just talked about, raise your hand and I'll come read it and talk to you about it, okay? If you have questions about the homework from the weekend, while I'm moving around, that is an okay time for you to ask me about them. So if you want to have that out, you can, but I'm going to collect it at the end of class. And it seemed like everybody felt good about it when I went over it at the very beginning. So do you guys have any questions for me before I let you loose for 35 minutes to write the essay? No? Okay. Then you guys can go ahead and get started. You have 35 minutes to prove it. Imagery, this that you have right here, this is absolutely a literary device, okay? Can you think of any other literary devices that are being used here? Let me see what you have. Remember? Oh, okay, okay. Are you okay?
What? Yeah.
You sound like crazy. Roma, what do you have for literary devices?
I don't have one.
You don't have one? Did I not give you one?
What? No, I don't have a literary. I didn't write one down.
Did I give you a sheet? Oh, okay, okay. Let's see. So let's see what you guys have for purpose. Purpose may be to watch the way you act because you never know who's watching. Okay, I kind of feel like, to talk about that dude being a jerk, that's a good point. I kind of feel like you guys have the purpose right. And then my question for you would be, how did you get this purpose? You guys both have teaching purposes. Show the relationship between two people. This is a little more broad. What you guys both have for the purpose is really to teach. You think that this short story is to instruct, and I think that's a good argument that you can make. And what else besides imagery communicated that? Was it the tone? Was it a certain type of syntax or sentence structure, like the things that we talked about last week? Was it a certain type of diction? Was there sarcasm? Was there juxtaposition? Those are the things that I want you guys to look for in order to prove your point that this is about instructing people. Yes?
Would juxtaposition be like, this person's like, wow, don't act like that, and he's like clearly acting like...
like that? Yeah. I think there's this relationship thing that you guys have both picked up on. Why did you notice that relationship so much between the woman and the man? What was it that was so important?
It said that they were unmistakably married.
Mm-hmm. But what were they each like?
They were good.
Yeah.
They were hurt by each other for some like stupid reason.
Yeah.
Like they didn't seem.
What is she like?
She's like doting upon him, and he's embarrassed about it.
Right.
So she's like more outgoing, and he's like wants to not be the center of attention.
Yeah, and if you guys can pull some examples from here that show that Roma would even say is a jerk, and she is doting upon him, I think that would show great juxtaposition, right? So I think you guys have two, with the imagery and with that, I think you guys have two really good points. If you can come up with 3 like good examples for each, or even 2 if you can quote them and explain them, I think you're gonna have a good essay. Okay? Yes? Okay. Okay. All right, what's our deal? I see some squares. I shouldn't have picked square.
We're having difficulties with thinking of more literary devices besides the imagery.
Imagery. Everybody loves imagery. Did I say imagery?
Yeah.
I don't know why everybody picked it. Okay, I mean, I guess it's because this is definitely an imagery-laden passage.
Underline the part where like we can really use imagery.
Okay, sure, but that's not the only part. If
Yeah.
Right, I mean, if there's only one example, that's not gonna work for you guys.
No, there's more, but
Okay, are you looking up literary devices right now?
I just did that.
Okay, let me see what you didn't write anything. I've got nothing to work with. Imagery.
Is that a purpose?
To entertain. I'm going to expect in the thesis statement a more specific purpose. Like, how does the author, if you think that it's to entertain people, how does the author want to make people feel? Okay? Because that's what I think entertaining is, you know, evoking some sort of emotion, whether that's, you know, I see humor in that, I see sadness in that, whatever it is. I think you need to be a little more specific. So if you want to say the purpose was entertainment, I would want a specific adjective in there, okay? And then for a second literary device, what I want you guys to think about is, how is that purpose of entertaining shown by the author? What is it that the author does that makes you feel entertained? How did this piece make you feel? Happy?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Not like sad, just like
Okay.
made me feel like sympathy.
Yeah.
Like
For who?
for the lady who took all the time to plan everything and then her husband just like shot her down.
Okay. That relationship right there could have a literary device in it. Yes, no? Nothing? Okay. I'm going to pull a packet of vocabulary for you guys that I think will help you in just a minute. I just don't want to feed you, you know, like the answer and tell you this is what you write about.
Yeah.
And yeah, stay right there. 1 second. Yes and no. I want an adjective in front of these because, like,
No, not that part.
Oh,
These one.
show insight into someone's life. Do you mean like to instruct somebody?
No, to like view another person's life. You know?
Okay. I think that this sounds really vague. I think that this is right, but I think it's really vague. Because that, to me, that could mean anything. Can you guys be more specific?
That's not what you said at all. She goes, it's not about someone's life. It's a
No, don't
birthday
read mine.
party.
Mine's retarded.
No, it's not. The author's purpose is to try picturing the surprise party in your head while you're reading it. Yeah, I think that that lends itself to the imagery that you noted there. And I like what you're saying about viewing somebody's life from the outside, and I think that's a big part of the story because who's the narrator here? Where's the narrator?
The woman.
The woman who does the birthday cake is the narrator?
No, the person who wrote it.
Okay, but this is fiction. Do we know that the author is really sitting there, like, in that restaurant watching this? Do we know that this even really happened? No, but what's significant about this, I think, is that there are a lot of third-person narration stories where the narrator is just anywhere, right? Where's the narrator here?
It says it.
No. I mean, like, physically where?
I couldn't bear to look at the woman then, so I stared at my plate and waited for quite a long time.
So where is this person?
In the room with them.
Yeah, they were sitting at the restaurant with them. And I think that that type of narration is really interesting because does the narrator know anything else about these people that we don't know? I mean, is this narrator friends with these people? No. So you might be able to wrap that up with tone. You might want to do something different, but I think that first person narration, or maybe even that detached narration, you guys could prove that that contributes to this purpose of showing insight into somebody's life. I mean, what do we learn about these people just from this little snippet at the restaurant, and how powerful is that? Yes? Am I touching on what you were going for here?
Yeah.
I just think you're going to have to reword this because I think it's really vague, and I'm not going to do it for you. I want you to do it on your own because I want it to be what you guys think.
Okay.
Okay?
So we have to do like adjectives before these?
Yeah. Like
I'm using the
a happy tone, a sad tone, a bittersweet tone.
tone.
There you go. That's excellent. That's excellent.
Boom. Erase what you wrote.
All right, people.
Okay.
Well, we
It's
could.
way too early.
You think so?
Yeah, for a dude, he's acting like a chick.
Give me an
I just
example.
wanna smack him.
Give me an example.
Listen. Hold on, let me find it better.
Underline it.
Where instead he was honestly
Underline it.
embarrassed and ignorant at his wife for embarrassing him. What a smack this. We don't want none.
But like, what are some other literary devices? Like, I kind of
Besides tone.
imagery is
Good. Everybody's using it.
Juxtaposition.
Sean loves juxtaposition. I know you do. I love juxtaposition with this story. A lot of different groups are pulling. So awkward. A lot of different groups are pulling the imagery in it. Where do you see juxtaposition in this story?
Where the chick was trying to do something nice and he grabbed like a little baby.
And how does that juxtapose? And Sean, will you explain juxtaposition to Jessica?
Good, evil.
alright.
Basically. It doesn't necessarily have to be good and
I
evil.
know, but like
But if you guys
PB
can,
and J, peas and carrots, like opposite.
two different things
Yeah.
being mashed up, okay? Now, if you guys can come up with examples of how this story shows that, I think you'll be in a really good place, okay?
What are you trying to... Because we kind of got like a first impression isn't always right. Like, but is that like a...
Okay, hold on, I'm being distracted right now. You're only supposed to be talking to people in your own group, okay? Do I have both my hall passes? Yes, you may. Okay, I'm so sorry.
You're fine. The like, I don't know what are we writing about?
Juxtaposition.
No, that's not the primary thing that you're writing about.
You have to write 3 different
Like
paragraphs.
first impressions.
Just do imagery, diction, and juxtaposition. That's our 3 right there.
Write it down.
I did.
Okay. But like, what is the purpose? Like,
What is it?
that's
What did I say?
What did you write down? First impressions,
aren't always right.
okay.
But what...
I don't know if that could be the purpose. The author could be trying to teach that. That could be a theme, okay?
But what's the
And
what is the...
maybe the purpose of the piece is to convey that theme. I like that. I think that could be really good. And I think that's true. I kind of think you might need to get a little broader because, well, why do you say first impressions?
Because like it says like they're looking at a couple and like
We need to
they
find
like
out if the
happy
dude has a
together.
six-pack.
Oh,
And
so
then, like at the end you see like where the person...
for serious girl,
I'm sorry.
it's fine.
And what was I even saying?
You were-
like at the end, like she's heartbroken. Like they look like a good couple,
Mm-hmm.
but then
Okay, but there's like turmoil underneath.
yeah,
I like that. So it's kind of like, and appearances can be deceiving thing.
yeah.
Don't judge a
Good.
book by its cover.
That's good, and I think that goes along with the juxtaposition that he is so like intent on talking about. Is that
Miss P.
that seemingly perfect surfacey appearance?
How would we start it out? Just like in the short story birthday party.
Mm-hmm.
This, and this happened with this, and this, because this.
No. You could do that, but that's a lot. What do you mean by this, and this happened? You think that there needs to be... Yeah, I think you should use
This one
these
one
3.
paragraph, this one one paragraph, and
Good.
this
He's
one one
right. He's right. You should use these 3 and... Well, because you said this, and this happened. I don't want a plot summary.
Because of this,
I have a 6-pack.
These aren't the things that happened.
Yeah, but that's what we're
This is what's being used to convey the theme that she's talking about.
So we would say in the short story birthday party. That's where I'm lost. I don't know where to go from there.
Okay.
Like just say that.
The author's purpose was to...
show imagery.
No.
Yes.
So you're jumping the gun a little bit. Good. Taylor's got it.
Okay.
Listen to Taylor.
First impressions aren't always right.
Okay. How we doing, people?
I've read this like 4 times and it just
Okay.
don't click in my head.
Okay, so you're having trouble understanding the story itself?
See, I made a score because I circled a square.
Okay. So you have that the purpose is heartbreak.
Oh.
Yeah? That's not bad. I think it needs to be more specific.
Yeah.
Okay? To show how much of an a-hole that guy is after his wife does something nice for him. Okay? I definitely get that. Some people don't like surprises. You never know how people will react. Interesting. These are all good points. What? No, it's not true. I definitely felt the heartbreak in the story, for sure.
You're such a jerk.
So,
Oh no.
can you guys work with me here?
Yeah.
Can you guys tell me what you have for your purpose up top? Like, what did you write down? What did you choose?
What purpose?
Did you guys name a purpose in your thesis? Remember we talked about you want to have a thesis that includes the 2 literary devices and the purpose.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm still working on the thesis, actually.
Okay. What purpose are you guys going to name?
We haven't really decided yet. That's kind of
All right.
what we're talking about.
Okay. All right. You probably need to talk about that a little bit faster because you guys are going to run out of time. You just have to choose something and go with it, and then.
What do you mean by purpose?
Do you guys know what I mean by purpose?
Like the purpose of the passage?
Yeah. What was the author trying to do? Okay. I've got another.
Show people.
Possibly.
You don't know how they're at.
Good. I think that's good. And I think you guys need to put that down so that you can start supporting it. Okay? I'm going to go help a group that has their hands up. I'll come back. Okay? Oops, so sorry. What's up, ladies?
We're all 3 squares.
Okay. I should not have used a square. I feel like so lame saying that. Are you a square? Okay. So what's up? What's the hang up?
Like, literary devices, is description what?
It can be if you're talking about like descriptive diction. Do you remember what diction is, you guys? Yeah. Good, Ashley. Yeah. And I think that what you would have to do to support that would be to go through and like circle or underline or highlight all of the descriptive words that you find in here.
Like,
okay.
Oh, there is face.
Yeah, excellent. Very good. There's definitely purpose in those words.
Like particularly.
How about this? Would this
Noticeable, yeah.
Would that little phrase be?
That's dialogue, and we can talk about that later. Okay. And if you want to talk about the use of dialogue, you can. But what's interesting about this dialogue is that this is the only time in the whole passage that
they use dialogue.
Yeah, they use dialogue, and the word "you" is used. Like the speaker is talking directly to the reader, which is really interesting.
He used good description. He was hotly embarrassed, and like he describes how he was hotly. I don't know. I don't think that's a real word, but.
What? Embarrassed? That's a word.
How about
hotly?
Yeah,
it is.
Pride.
That's weird.
Yeah, shy pride. That describes the man's face. So if you guys want to, I guess that's the woman. The shy pride is the woman.
Yeah, down here it starts describing how she was upset and everything.
But he was, like basically he showed he was embarrassed and mad because his wife did that and embarrassed him so much.
Good.
Even though she was just trying to help and do something special and show that she loved him.
So what I'm hearing you say, Jennifer, is that there's a very emotional tone?
Yes.
Yeah? And do you think that's something that you could support with examples from the text? Okay, so that emotional tone is one of the devices that I think you guys could talk about.
All that just came out of my mouth, and wow.
I know you know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I do, but it's just a shock because I just felt like, okay, anyway.
Are you guys feeling a little better about it now?
Yeah.
Ashley, have you guys talked about the purpose that you wrote down earlier?
Actually, no.
Okay, I think you guys should start by talking about that and then talk about how the descriptive diction and the emotional tone can support that.
Okay.
Yes?
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
No problem. You guys are doing great. How you doing?
Taking persuasion to an extreme.
Are you writing me a song about this passage?
Yep.
Okay.
Something wrong with that?
That's actually really awesome, but that's not what you have to do right now. You know what I'm saying?
You'll read it and then you'll understand.
Is this what you did for the Brace Yourself passage too? Okay, yeah. I would love to read this, but this isn't exactly what I need you to do right now. You know what I'm saying? Nah, I mean, yeah?
No, I don't know what you mean.
Okay, what I mean is, unfortunately, as cool as this is, it is not a well-organized essay in which you show how the author uses literary devices to achieve his or her purpose. Okay? Let me see what she put for the author's purpose. The wife completely embarrassed the husband. Sometimes doing the right thing isn't always doing the right thing. Doing the right thing isn't always doing the right thing. What do you mean by that?
That's what the next thing says.
The thought, it's the thought that counts. You think that this passage is to show that? Yeah.
Sometimes the thought is a lot better than acting.
The thought is a lot better. So who?
Like she was being thoughtful and like having the orchestra play Happy Birthday and bringing the cake and everything. But even though that was the right thing, it wasn't doing the right thing because the husband didn't enjoy it.
Because he didn't enjoy it. Okay, good. I think that is a good reading of it. So what I want you to try to do, I know this isn't your nature because I know you're a very creative person, but it is valuable to have these skills to do the essay thing. And it is because I know you want to go to college.
Yeah, I already got accepted to college.
Well, they're going to be asking you to write essays, I'm telling you.
Yeah, I'll write them a song too.
I don't think that's going to go very far with them, okay? And I'm not saying you don't understand it, and I'm not saying you can't show it with this, but I think you need to practice doing it this way sometimes, okay? So, I mean, you might have ideas in here that work for this, and you might just need to reword them, okay? Okay. How we doing?
Getting there.
Okay. The author's purpose is appreciate what you have. I don't know if appreciate what you have is a purpose. Do you think that the author's purpose is to communicate that or to teach that? To teach that? Can you squeeze that in? Because that sentence, in the short story Birthday Party, the author's purpose is appreciate what you have. How could you squeeze the word teach in there after these? See if you can make that less awkward. It feels awkward. Yeah, oh yeah. This is a draft. I know it's a first draft and you're doing it in 35 minutes, so don't worry about it being like immaculate. How you guys doing?
Pretty good.
Yeah? Can I read your thesis statement? Example of how love is what is this word? Unappreciated. I'm sorry.
You have 2 A's.
Oh, okay. I was confused. That's a C-I.
Yeah.
Oh.
My handwriting's
Or E-I, E-C, I don't know. The short story, The Birthday Party, tone, diction, syntax are examples of how love is unappreciated. Maybe instead of, I don't know if these are examples of how love is unappreciated, but maybe you could say are used to show how love is unappreciated. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you couldn't be like, love isn't appreciated in this world. Take tone, for example. That really shows that, you know what I mean? Like, so maybe you could be a little more specific in that opening sentence. I think that'll make the rest of this make a little more sense. Okay? You don't have to erase it. You can totally just cross stuff out and add stuff in, however you want. All right.
That's a paragraph, not a whole page. Just a paragraph written by me.
Birthday party is passage about an older couple celebrating.
Oh, don't read it out loud. It's embarrassing.
Out at a restaurant. Instead of
Like the whole thing.
being surprised about the nice gesture from his wife. Is that a sentence?
What?
Instead of being surprised about the nice gesture from his wife.
It goes on, I think.
Is that
No,
supposed to be a comma?
Yeah, and then I forgot to write something else after that. Murphy, you want to do that?
I think you need to finish this thought because I think that's a really important thought. Instead of being surprised about the nice gesture from his wife, what does the man do?
He's a real big jerk.
And what is it called in literature when you think that one thing is going to happen, but something completely different happens in the end?
Is that the opposite to juxtaposition?
It could be juxtaposition, but there's another word for it.
What did you start with?
I'm not going to tell you. I heard Miss P listening to a song about it today. Alanis Morissette wrote a song about it. No? I know you were in my class when I taught this 2 years ago. Sophomore year, you learned about it.
You're good.
There are different kinds of it. You guys don't know?
Irony.
Yes. Ding, 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 ding. Good job. I think that's what you're explaining here, and that's a literary device. That you think that he's going to be surprised and excited, but he's not. Okay? So you guys need to definitely mention that in one of your body paragraphs. Okay?
Go for irony.
I think you guys need to finish this sentence. Instead of being surprised about the nice gesture from his wife, what does the guy do?
Or I would add, that'd be a good idea.
How you guys doing?
This is a question kind of like aside from that, but did you write comments on my document?
Maybe. No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Is this a good, like, purpose statement?
The purpose of this piece is to entertain the audience and make them feel sympathetic. Good. I would change audience to reader.
Okay.
And I would change them to him or her to be singular. Yes? Okay.
And then word choice for our second, like, diction for our second one.
Imagery and diction?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to ask you to put an adjective in front of diction because every story has words, and that's all diction means. Like, what kind of diction do you see in here? And how does that contribute to this purpose?
Okay.
Okay?
Wait. I'm gonna ask this because they're probably thinking that. Like, what do you mean by kind of diction?
Do you guys have the packet I gave you?
Yeah. Okay.
So, words that, yeah. All these words that describe language, these are just lists of different types of diction, okay? Different types of word choice. And then here's some more, like if you think the tone is angry, hateful, reverent, romantic, joyful, fearful, sad, any of these descriptive words would be useful, okay?
Okay.
I just need you guys to make a claim, like pick something and back it up using something from the text.
Okay.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Circle, happy, and ironic.
Word choice.
That's not a good one.
It could be, but you can't just say diction. I was just telling that group, you can't just say, oh, this story has tons of words in it, man. I just really could tell by all those words they were using what it was about.
Well, I just did juxtaposition because I like it.
I know you love that. Every essay he writes about juxtaposition. I want you guys to make a claim about what type of diction is being used. Okay? So, like, how does what kind of diction do you see? I mean, let's look at these
$1
words.
words and $5 words and some 50-cent words.
But let's look at these terms. Unmistakably married, self-satisfied face, fadingly pretty, big hat. What? I'm doing all your work here. Nothing conspicuous, nothing noticeable. This was an occasion with a capital O. The wife had planned a little surprise. What does that say about the surprise?
That she had worked hard on the surprise and he acted like a douche.
But you don't know that yet.
Look, he got made there at the bottom. He's a douche.
But you, what is that called? Leading up to something. Showing you what is going to happen. I know you guys know that term.
I remember. Hold on.
It's still funny though, because you know when he grows up.
Are you guys doing okay?
Does this last sentence, does it like kind of explain the thesis that we used?
The purpose is to watch the way you act in relationship because people aren't always appreciative. Okay, remember what we said about using you though. The purpose is, I don't think the purpose is, why did the author write this? So that she would watch how she acts in relationships? No. So I would say maybe she wrote it to teach readers about relationships. Yes? Is that what you guys are saying there? Yeah. Okay, I just want you to make sure you get that you out of it. You don't want to address the reader directly in the academic essay. It's something we've been working on. Okay. Cody, you're not supposed to be talking to people who aren't in your group. Did you guys fix the sentence about the husband?
But it's not very appropriate. If I don't say so myself.
I mean, if you don't feel like it's going well, you can write on your own.
No, it's going fine until Murphy started writing.
Yeah, right. Took you half an hour.
You guys can write the essays on your own if you don't think that, if you don't trust like somebody else to help you out. Honestly, I think it would be good, guys. Most of the other groups, like one person writes and like people contribute. I think it would help you guys, because what I find in yours, and a lot of times, especially you two, like we'll pair up, and the paragraphs aren't connected, because like you're playing with your skateboard while he's writing, so you don't know what this is about, and then you take it and you add on to it, and you.
Well, I write the first and last, so they should be the ones getting yelled at.
But I'm not. Am I yelling at you? I promise I'm not.
No.
I would never do that to you. That would be really rude. Okay. What I'm saying is, I think that you guys lack some connection from one paragraph to another, and I think it has to do with the way that you're going about this. Rather than discussing it and writing it together, you guys are just taking turns writing like a third of an essay.
It's hard.
Yeah, that's not a very like effective or efficient way to go about it. All right, I probably would not include the word douche in an academic essay either.
Seriously, Cody. That was you. I was the one who said that.
How we doing?
The conclusion.
Running low on time. Am I killing your soul?
Yep.
I am. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you get to your thesis statement yet?
Huh?
Did you get to your thesis statement yet with the literary devices and the purpose in it?
Somewhat.
Try to finish up within a couple minutes, okay?
I can't write it, so I'm not good at it.
No, this isn't bad. It's just a little bit too much of a plot summary is all. What is the purpose? You've got to make sure that you address the prompt, what you're being asked to do. What is the author's purpose, do you think? I want you to write one.
I wrote that in there.
Huh?
I wrote that in there. It's towards
Where?
the end.
Even the thought. Okay, so you think that this, even the thought was nice, it would have been better that way? If it was just a thought?
Yeah.
This showed sometimes doing the right thing isn't doing the right thing. Even the thought was nice, it would have been better that way. Okay, and what are the literary devices, going back up to there, that you think
I didn't write imagery, but I did write description, like describes.
Okay, she describes the cake in the orchestra. She describes the husband's reaction. What about the tone? How do you think you could describe the tone of this piece? Is it happy?
Hell no.
What is it?
Not happy.
What is it? Excited? Birthday party? Woo! No. What do you think?
Probably like depression, maybe. I don't know.
Depressed? I like that.
Anger.
I'm writing it down. Do you think the depressed tone and the imagery contribute to this purpose that the author's trying to teach us, that thoughts are more important than actions?
Sometimes.
Okay, I think you need to write one sentence that says that before you get into your body paragraph so that you know where you're going with it. What's that? 10-10. Sorry. Sorry. I know.
How do you spell goats?
BOTES. Good word. And that's okay. Okay, that's good. Some people are finished, some people are not. I want to be able to take and read what you were able to do in 35 minutes with this prompt. So, with that said, I'm going to ask you guys in just a minute to move your desks back, but make sure, sometimes you guys don't do this when we do these essay practices, make sure that the top page has your first and last name, the date and the class period, and that you have the whole group's names on that front page. You're going to staple it with a stapler of about a pencil sharpener, and then I'm going to have one of you take it back to your desk because I need to collect your homework and this, okay, in just a minute. So why don't you guys go ahead and do that now, move back to your desks, and use the stapler to make sure that the one essay is underneath the cover sheet. This is a little complicated. I'd like for you to first pass up those essays, okay? Your homework and your flashbacks, you can just leave on your desk, okay? Thanks. Can I take? Okay. Do I have all the essays? Yes? Okay. Did anybody find anything in the short story? I was like, why are you going back there? Did anybody find anything in the short story besides these things that I had listed here? I heard, these are the things that I was hoping you would come up with. And I heard juxtaposition. I heard diction. I don't know if anybody used the adjective bland. What adjectives did you guys use with diction? Emotional diction? Good. What else? I think I heard descriptive from one group. I heard irony from Cody and Alex and David, I think. And I think there was another group that used irony also. Sarcasm. Did anybody use sarcasm? Maybe not. I didn't hear that one. And syntax. Did anybody comment on the capitalization of the O in occasion? Did anybody comment on the super long sentence at the end? So what did you guys mention? Did some people, raise your hand if you used tone, a certain type of tone? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, a lot of people. Good. What else? Imagery. Raise your hand if you used imagery. So many people use imagery. Good. All right. Good job. Okay. What I want to do now is if you guys could pass up your flashbacks, I can take those and thanks.